Hey friends, today we're continuing our series of previewing strategies and we're focusing on vocabulary instruction. So, what are we talking about when we talk about vocabulary instruction as a previewing strategy? Essentially, we're trying to find some ways or talk about ways to help students make sense of the new text, new content, new information by previewing the vocabulary in advance. So, what do we mean by that? We mean targeting a few words to explicitly teach before introducing the lesson or the content. So, why do we want to do that? Well, there are a number of reasons. Allow me to list a few. One, we want to activate prior knowledge. Sometimes students are coming in and maybe it's been a hot minute since they have reviewed the content, especially if we're looking at eighth grade Georgia studies, where some of those historical topics may not have been addressed since fifth grade. We want to unearth or activate some of that prior knowledge. Additionally, we want to make sure that we're clearing up any misconceptions about a word meaning because it could obviously compromise their understanding of the content. In terms of also compromising, we want to clarify the meaning of words that are known. So think about those words, especially those tier two vocabulary words that may have multiple meanings. This is a great opportunity to preview the vocabulary of a text or of a content in advance to see what does that word mean in relation to the current context. It gives the chance to become familiar with some of those unknown words and increase confidence and assurance in what the students are learning. So, how do we do that? There's so many words that could, in some cases, be brand new or unfamiliar to students. So, here's a couple of things you want to keep in mind. Choose words that are necessary to understand the text. That if a student were to approach that word and not know the definition, what would that mean for their understanding of the content? Choose words, again, that are essential to understanding those major concepts in the content lesson or unit of study, whether they may be familiar or unfamiliar. Choose words that are unfamiliar. And for these, I'm thinking more of like specialized academic words that you sometimes come in contact with, um, you know, synthesize, analyze, things of that nature. What do we mean when we're talking about those words? We also want to make sure that we're choosing words, obviously, that are unfamiliar to most of the students or words that have multiple meanings. So, again, kind of kicking it back to that tier two vocabulary. So, what could it look like? Well, part of knowing what we need to review is having the students get a chance to sort of self-assess. So a word knowledge checklist is a great way to do that. For those of you who aren't familiar, a word knowledge checklist, students can rate their knowledge of the words as a preview of the activity. So here's a couple of statements that the students can use. I don't remember having seen this word before, and then identifying what that word is based on the list that you provide. I have seen this word before, but I don't think I know what it means. What are those words? What are words that I have seen this word before and I think it means blank? Um, I know this word. It means, and then to the ultimate confidence and comprehension, I can use this word in a sentence. And here is my example of a sentence. So, y'all go for it and be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms.